So basically, I've been like recording clips of everything happening today, and I'm thinking, well, I'm definitely gonna do like a episode that's sort of about like scenes from Trans Pride.
Say after me. Trans kids, you are loved. Trans kids, you are loved. Trans kids, you are loved. Trans kids, you are loved.
Yeah, have this as like a prelude of a podcast where you interview somebody about Trans Pride.
No, I kind of like, so what I'm thinking of doing is I kind of like start it with me narrating, kind of a narration. And basically what I really want to do is I want to get in the context of Trans Pride and say stuff like, it started in 2013, it's been going on yearly, it is currently the biggest trans-led event outside of the United States. I want to talk about the fact that it's committee-led. I want to talk about the fact that it's community-led, it is led by volunteers and run by volunteers and run by donations. I want to talk about the fact that every single year it's gotten bigger to the point that now, like this year, it got 45,000 people attending and involved with the events. And I guess the kind of theme of it that I want to bring out is the idea of like the preservation of Pride, because like this is one of the few Prides now that is like actively fighting going corporate. And I kind of just like want to go through that journey in it, like in the conversation. And so the idea is that like I started off with like a narration where I'm saying all of that, and then I kind of like take us there, like flashbacks that drift into that between that narration.
So a bit like an audio essay about Pride and then Trans Pride.
Yeah, but also like a soundscape. I want it to feel like, I think one of the things that I want to make sure that I want to add in is that like, I mean, the reason I'm doing this is because I kind of want people who weren't there to feel like they're there. Okay. And to feel like they're there next to me, experiencing it.
Happy Trans Pride, everybody!
When I was growing up, when I was a little girl growing up, I actually used to be a punk rocker.
Trans rights! Please, everyone, give a warm welcome to Rose. I'm here from Salford, or Solidarity Federation. But before I speak, I want to say free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Something I've become increasingly aware of through my journey as a trans person is that our lives and our mental health do not matter to bosses and landlords. On a weekly basis, I encounter trans people that are abused, mistreated, sexually harassed and manipulated at work. Their wages stagnate, their bonuses are withheld, and their position within the workplace is considered to be shaky. Regardless of what they do, they are on thin ice. We live in a time where gender-critical beliefs are defined as a protected characteristics in the Equality Act, but being trans is only considered a protected characteristic if you intend to change your sex. The system is weighted against us, and it calls for direct action. There can be no compromise, and there is no playing nice, and there is no halfway point. Either we are treated with the respect that they give to cis people, or we fight back and organise our workplaces for fair treatment. Put your hand up if you, as a trans person, have been mistreated by your boss or your landlord. Keep your hand up if you were not believed when you brought it up. Keep your hand up still if you think what happened to you was completely illegal. And keep your hand up if your union helped you thoroughly throughout the process. This isn't an anti-union speech, by the way. I'm here on behalf of Brighton Solidarity Federation. Here's our pretty little man over here. Some of you might know us as Salford. We are an anarcho-syndicalist union, and we have branches all over the world, from here to Jamaica to Pakistan. There are no paid representatives, and there are no compromises with managers. Unlike other trade unions, we work together as a team, us and you, to fight for your rights in the workplace, and your word is just as important as ours. If one of us is struggling in the workplace, you fight to help us. Some examples of what we do. Not too long ago, a worker at a hotel in central Brighton came to us when they were owed unpaid holiday pay, tips and 3 days worth of wages, totaling up to £1,000. Management agreed to meet with us after a single picket that we hosted, and they paid more than we even asked for. Because we play a little bit dirty. One worker at a pub in Kent Town was unfairly dismissed calling in sick once after working for 9 months. We entered into the dispute and the worker received unpaid holiday pay, and then the management resigned. If you as a trans person are being dicked about by your boss or your landlord, email us, Brighton Salford. There is no workers' liberation without trans liberation.
Something that I was like, this is kind of what I want it to be about. Yeah, I kind of wanted to basically make an episode showing the people who gather in action to share their intention for the world to be better for them and each other. Mm-hmm. Like that is what Trans Pride is.
I was in the march, it was nice. I like that it still maintains a protest walk.
Yeah.
You know, there's not many. London's gone.
No, London's not there anymore.
Kind of gone now.
It's going.
I don't know how to
It's monstrous. It's a protest still.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Know your history. Black trans women fought for me. Know your history. Black trans. This is working. It's helpful if you got rhythm. I got no rhythm.
I feel like the biggest kick for me today is one, not being in like the massive like gay pride energy, which is like just so hyper masculine and very
Hyper-masculine is a weird take.
Gay pride is very.
I think it's very mass.
It's very mask. It's very mask.
Yeah.
Very, very much that energy. And that's like seeing so many like trans people being free and like. I thought that was very nice. I have to say. I personally really like that.
My name's V, and I'm from the English Collective of Prostitutes. We are a sex workers collective, and we fight for decriminalisation of sex work, rights and safety. Trans people, particularly trans women in our group, feel unable to speak publicly today because of the attacks they face and fear of repercussions. We are so proud to be here at Trans Pride today. We have a common fight against criminalisation, against violence and against systematic poverty. As sex workers, we face public shaming, extortion, eviction, raids, deportation, police illegality and racism. Due to laws, we are forced to work alone and in dangerous settings which politicians say are there to make us safer. We know that criminalisation only makes our lives harder and our work more dangerous.
Yeah.
We know that women working on the streets, migrant women, trans women and women of colour are disproportionately targeted for attack and also by the police for arrest. We need your help to push Brighton City Council to support decriminalisation and the safety of sex workers locally. We are fighting to care for ourselves, for our children, for our community and for our loved ones. We are cooking and housing for each other. We donate money around each other. We organise marches, campaigns and we push for laws to change. And we are furious that those in power don't value our lives or our labour. We deserve an income for the care that we give. Not for our clients, but for our people and for the planet. We are fighting against the criminalisation of clients, which makes it more dangerous for us to work. We call out the Labour politicians who claim to be feminists, but who campaign for more workers! While the NHS crumbles, parents struggle to feed their children, the climate collapses and a genocide unfolds before our eyes, they target trans women and sex workers. But we will not stop the fight for trans liberation and for sex worker rights. The English Collective of Prostitute are the whores against wars. We are horrified and sickened by Israel's genocide against Palestinian people. We are here for Palestine because if Palestine is not free, none of us are free. Murder of Geraldine, a 30-year-old Peruvian trans woman and sex worker in Paris. We put the blame on the state who brought in the laws to criminalise clients, which resulted in attacks against trans sex workers doubling. We come together in our millions to demand our right to healthcare, our right to safety, our right for labour rights, and an end to poverty, and to get the law and the police off our backs. We demand the same respect and access to public space as everyone else. We are determined to survive, and we are determined to win. Thank you so much.
I often just like the idea of someone like putting in their earphones and walking around feeling like they're walking around Trans Pride. I think especially within the context of like the past couple of weeks in the UK, like all these fucking racist riots erupting. I think one of the reasons that kind of inspired it, like the past week, me wanting to do this. Like this is the UK community that I know and that I understand and that is around me that I identify with and that like I feel should be spotlighted, especially in this time when like all the other sort of fringe, hateful aspects of like UK culture is what's being highlighted. I think it's important to look at also like, yeah, but this is also what it actually is, what we're fighting for, and it's here.
I haven't cried today, which is novel for me. Do you tend to cry during Trans Pride? Yeah. But, you know. But, like, that's what I love about Pride, specifically. Not like the actual events or stuff, but like there's a lot more queer people concentrated in one area.
Yeah.
And then like you walk around, you'll run into everybody you know. You know, that's what I love. It's like a holiday. It's an actual holiday.
Yeah.
Everybody's out. Everybody's like trying to be in a good mood.
Yeah.
That's like the aspects of it that are, I think, nice.
Yeah. Just celebrating us.
Yeah, and Trans Pride, I think, in particular feels special because it's not like a conglomerate. It's not like big. It doesn't have fucking Barclays or whatever.
I'm so sorry. That's a really cool actor. Shit.
Oh. Where?
Shit. The guy in the blue.
Just walking up there.
Yeah, Shadow and Bone. He's a really cool.
Is he going
actor.
into the cafe?
He's going into the cafe. I don't know his name, but he's a really cool actor. Oh, he looks so nice. Like, you know, like.
I don't know him at all. I'm gonna have to Google him.
You would have seen him. He
Yeah.
does. I'll show you the Shadow and Bone.
Okay.
None of a thing.
What was I saying about? Yeah, no, Trans Pride. That's what I really like about Trans Pride, because it's still small. It still feels like a protest. You know, and like they've been very careful about where they get their funding and how they're going to keep it going.
Yeah.
It's really like a community effort in the way that like you'd want Pride to be, but like.
Yeah. I remember back in the day. My first Pride was very much in London.
Yeah.
Was probably more protesty.
Yeah.
It's less corporations, you know. And it just got worse, you know. The fact that we've got like banks ahead of charities that do good in the community.
And police like sandwiching all of them.
They should be at the back or just keep running. We don't need to see you.
Yeah.
You know, like go away.
Yeah. But I'm glad we still have this.
Yeah.
I hope if it does continue to get bigger, it just like doesn't lose its core. And what I know about like the Trans Pride committee is that they're quite good.
Conversations that I had is like people talking about wanting to preserve Pride and why it's important, and also people talking about what it is about that fact that they enjoy. So basically, I don't want this to be long. I want this to be like 30 minutes tops. And that will be part one. And then part two, I'm going to talk to the CEO, Sarah, of Trans Pride, and probably Victor as well, and hopefully someone else. That'll be like a part two.
I keep trying to get Victor to be nicer.
Nicer? Why?
Yes,
Why
that's like
do
the
you divide it up this year?
Because it was too big for
I have to do it.
Brunswick. Yeah.
It's not because like of last year's cancellation that feels like it might be better to spread it out.
Sorry?
Because of last year's like weather cancellation.
Well, yeah, it was kind of inspired by last year's weather cancellation because like we kind of liked having it be decentralized because it was like kind of like all over the city.
Yeah.
But we were trying to do like a halfway between that and this. But and also we've been thinking for a couple of years it's too big for Dorset.
People seem really happy.
Yeah.
People are enjoying it. You know, like it's just nice, like seeing Brighton full of trans people.
Yes.
You know, like we took over the town.
I was talking to someone. I was like, this is the thing I love most about Trans Pride is that it feels like we're here. You know, it feels like more than ever I walk around feeling the safest I ever do in Brighton.
Yeah.
Just on this day.
Yeah, I think because we used to go to the like a park and hide away from everything, and now like having it here and having it in the middle of Brighton feels like much more like it's like trans visibility.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that because so I've been to the park once quite a bit, and then I know last year you had to move because of the weather conditions.
Yeah.
Is that partly what inspired today, or was it more so just
I think like we didn't know how last year would work.
Yeah.
And actually it turned out quite successful.
Yeah.
The council have wanted us to move from the park we've been in for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So we've outgrown the park we were going to, and there were no good parks we could take over, because any park we want to go to really needs to be
in the city.
Well, not in the city, but like also like walkable from the city centre and accessible, but also have a fence around it so we can control who comes and goes.
Yeah.
And so the other bigger parks in Brighton would have to put up a fence.
Yeah.
So, and that's a huge amount of money. We don't have that kind of money, so and so we had to be creative. I mean, I was nervous because you know, like basically four events is harder than one event.
Yeah.
And one event is quite hard work, so.
But it's going quite successfully. I've heard people are enjoying this being out in the city and like actually going places. Rather than being like isolated in that corner. So congratulations. I'm not going to take any more of your time. I'm sure you have a million things to do. But thank you so much for taking a second to talk.
Trans people and the people that might be questioning things about their sexuality, gender, who could listen to it, and then it might give them a little ray of hope from an isolated place.
Yeah.
We're very lucky to have the opportunity to go to Trans Pride.
That's a great point.
Whereas, you know, like
we are here,
like you, for example, when you were younger, you might have listened to that and been like, yeah, okay, maybe it's all right to be me.
Also, like, it shows you that your people are out there, I guess. It's also, like, you know, that's what we keep talking about, representation and resources, and, you know.
Yeah, pride is about being proud, but it's also about fighting for our rights, isn't it? And, you know, fighting for the rights of others. So that's why it's a march. It's not
a protest. It's a fight.
Well, it's not just a procession. It's a march, isn't it?
Yeah, and
to say, we're here. We always have been, and we always will. We're not going anywhere.
And we're going to fight those that say that we shouldn't be.
Different nomadic and ethnic communities across the UK and beyond. So everyone's welcome, from Romany, Irish travellers, Scottish Norcan, Welsh Carle, showmen, new and new age travellers to voters, and everyone beyond. Sadly, too often in queer spaces, we as gypsies and travellers still encounter cruel stereotypes and racist misconceptions that leave us exiled from spaces in the same way that broader society does, and that is not acceptable. So often, we're told that we can't exist as both identities, that our ethnic backgrounds must be uniquely transphobic or homophobic, which is just another form of racism. And it's not true. Queer and trans, gypsies and travellers have always existed, just as all queer and trans people have. So we created Traveller Pride. We needed to create a space for ourselves, a space in which to be believed, to be heard, to be seen and celebrated for who we are, and without having to constantly justify different parts of our identities. We wanted a place to come together in truth and acceptance so that we can be empowered to advocate for ourselves as a group and as individuals. Traveller Pride works consistently to educate both Traveller Plus communities on queer issues and queer communities on Traveller Plus issues. In the past, we've helped community members with things like homelessness, navigating multiple identities. We've given out binders and had a small social fund. And we really want to do more of this, but we need your help. So please seek us out and support our work. We can be found in all the usual spots online. Just look for Traveller Pride. We also previously worked with our dear cousin, the late great Cherry Valentine, on the documentary Gypsy Queen and Proud. We now have a space, we're part of a space at Glastonbury called the Achin Tam. Achin Tam means stopping places in Romanesque, and stopping places are practically extinct now thanks to ongoing and oppressive government policies.
Shame!
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 Shame! Most recently, Traveller Pride had a residency at Queer Brighton, a mixed media exhibition of gorgeous work produced by members as part of Queer Britain's series aimed at addressing the erasure and underrepresentation of histories within the LGBTQ+ community. And that exhibition will now go on to become part of their archives. We're deeply proud of the work we've done so far. We're proud to be trans, we're proud to be queer, we're proud to be Travellers Plus. Proud to be a safe space and a voice against racism, ableism, homophobia, transphobia and all forms of prejudice. We stand in solidarity. We stand in solidarity always with everyone facing the cruelty of oppression. We stand with those facing occupation and genocide. And we say, free Palestine! We say, free Sudan! We say, free Congo! Nobody is free until all of us are free. Thank you. Have a great day.
I only took one conversation. I was like, Dad, are you calling me? It's kind of like you calling me by the wrong name, you know? To be foster parents. Oh, is that what you were talking?
The person about.
Yeah, I think so.
I need to do some volunteering for children.
Oh, so is that you need to like fill out your CV before?
Yeah, which I can work my way into that. I don't know if you want kids, like.
What's your timeline then for this, do you think?
Oh, like 40 when I'm 40.
Okay, so 2 years from now?
Well, 7 years from now.
Okay.
Make sure we have time for ourselves, on more holidays.
Mm-hmm. Well, like it's looking like a possibility soon.
Possibility, yeah.
You know, I think you'd be great foster parents.
In our 40s.
Yeah, I always had a fantasy of adopting as well, but now I don't know if I actually have the capacity for it. But it's nice to know that there's an option to do that now.
It's beautiful to see our family here, all our sisters and trans siblings. But I have a message for you. What we do as a community, we protest, but we protest with peace and love in our heart. In 1964, under the direction of Martin Luther King, the black community gained their freedom, their independence. So we must always be better than our oppressor. Please look after each other. We are all we have. We are a family. And now I officially open the parade.
What do you think about trans pride, Dusty?
Not good things. Mainly bad.
Aww.
She's like,
But I was out on Thursday with the people. I was one of the 7.
No. You can't be a racist as well as a transphobe, can I?
I feel like that's kind of implied.
I think she only doesn't like me because I put worming treatment on her neck. And now she likes me. She's rubbing on my feet.
Yeah, no, she's warm into you. But yeah, so that is the episode.